So you're going through the probate process in Georgia, you have a house to sell, and you're just wondering, what is the difference between a probate sale and a traditional sale? Let's talk about that. My name is Tonya Bird. I'm part of the Bird Group and brokered by Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners, and I actually specialize in probate. So we are going to go over 5 key areas to be aware of the differences between just a traditional sale, like it's just going to go on the market and sell, versus one that is going through probate. Well, first of all, in a traditional sale, the seller has the legal authority to sign paperwork and sell the house. As with a probate sale, the administrator or the executor has to have their letters of administration or letters of testamentary before they can sell the property. And in most cases, when you're petitioning the court, there's a time frame in there that it takes to get all that information back. It can go faster if everyone's getting along. It can drag on for months and years if they're not getting along, all while the house that needs to be probated is sitting there vacant. So it can be a little bit more of a struggle for probate. Now, sometimes the administrator or the executor, even if they haven't got those letters yet, they still may think that they can sign contracts, but technically they can't, and they're not really binding if they do, because technically they don't have legal authority until they have those letters in their hands. As I mentioned earlier, probate can be slow or it can be fast. So the timeline of it all, if you're a regular seller, you can go as fast as slow as you want. You sign them papers, boom, your house can be on the market within a few days, ready to go. With probate, from the time you petition the court until you get those letters of administration, I've seen that take anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months. If everybody's getting along, and depending on the county that you're probating, because there's some counties just around in this part of Atlanta that's slower than others. So that could be a process. And then if you didn't get the leave to sell waived with your letters of administration, or the will on the letters of testamentary didn't give you the right to waive the leave to sell, and you actually have to go in front of the court, then you can sign documents saying that you can list the house and that you can go under contract with court approval. And so then that contract has to go over to the court to get approved, which can drag out the process in the sales line of things. Like it could take a good 60 days, maybe 3 months before you get through all the court approvals, and fingers crossed nobody objects to get that leave of sale. Whereas normally with a traditional sale, if you got a cash buyer, you're looking at a 2-week close, and if it's financing, 30 days, 45 at the most. So the time that you get the contract and go under contract can go much faster on a traditional sale versus a probate sale that doesn't have the permission from the court. Now, if you do have permission, it can go just as fast as a regular sale because you've got the right to sign on everything. Who makes the decision? Well, on a traditional sale, the seller makes the decision. They get with the agent, and the agent presents them, marketing facts of what's happening in the real estate market, and then ultimately they can decide where they want to list their house and get it on the market and go. Now, with a probate sale, it is the administrator or the executor who is working with the agent to determine that price and get it on the market. The only catch to that is they may have to consult with other family members. It really depends on if people are getting along. I've had administrators or executors say, we don't need, I'll do the communication with the heirs. You don't have to worry about it. I've had administrators where the entire family's involved, even though there's one person signing, because they're all getting along and they're curious about the process. And I've had some where there is complete breakdown in family communication, and I'm only dealing with that executor or that administrator because they have the ultimate say. It is nice to keep the heirs up to date, but sometimes you have to go and have like a little meet and greet over here to the side before you get back with the agent and say, yep, we're good with the price, let's go. Let's talk about condition, because it doesn't matter whether it's a traditional sale or if it's a probate sale. You might have a house that's not in great condition. In both instances, you can sell as is. In both instances, you can choose to fix up the property if you have the funds to do so. In both instances, you may even be able to sell it off market to an investor. So you have all those options, whether it's a traditional sale or probate. When it comes to disclosing the condition, the seller has more obligation really to put down things like the date of the roof and how old's the hot water heater and how's the HVAC doing, and anything that they know about the house that needs to be disclosed. Whereas the person who is the executor or the administrator may not know these things, may not know how old the roof is. So we have two different disclosure forms, one for the traditional sale that has all the information, and one that kind of does latent defects if that person who's administrating the estate or executing the estate, they know something that is behind the wall that a regular inspection couldn't find, then they should disclose that. If they know it, they may not know it. And then pretty much it's all about checking off the boxes on the disclosure of what stays with the property. I am of the opinion that you should just disclose. If you're just upfront about anything and you know anything about anything and you're just upfront about it, whether it's a traditional sale or a probate sale, it's going to make things go a lot faster. You're not going to get under contract with a buyer who's not happy about something condition-wise about the house and then have to go re-put it on the market. So I say it never hurts to disclose, be up in front about it, and no matter the condition, whether it's in really good condition or not, price overcomes condition every time. Let's talk about the emotions, because emotions run wild when you're selling real estate. I've had plenty of people do traditional sales, whether it's selling the house or whether they're buying a house, and everybody can just get emotional. It's a stressful process. You have the pressure of packing everything up and making sure the house looks good and is clean if you're doing the traditional sale. And you could just be tired and exhausted through the whole process. You could either be upsizing, downsizing, you could be moving for a job. You could be sad about those things. You could have lived in a house a long time and you're downsizing and all the memories were made in front of the fireplace, and that's heartbreaking. So I've had people do traditional sales and there's emotions run wild. With probate, there's an extra added layer to it. Not only may you be selling that family home where you and your family made wonderful memories, but there's grief involved. There's having to go through that person's effects, making certain that their wishes are met. Since, they're past, you can't ask them, but trying to make sure you did right by them and what their wishes were to the heirs and to the estate. So it can be harder because you're going through grief, and grief is one of those weird things. One day you might be fine, and the next day you just might be in a ball of tears, and neither is right or wrong, and it's okay to grieve. I've had people hold it all together, really act like they were getting things done, getting repairs made, getting everything cleaned out, and when it got to where everything was empty and they were getting closer to closing day, like they just ball of tears, and that is fine. It's the grieving process. It's better to release that and go through it than have it all in. Just expect it to be an extra added layer beyond what a normal person goes through when they're just selling a house. So to wrap things all up, since there's a little bit more nuance in more ways than one, whether it's court authority and running through all that and making sure that that's done correctly and that everything's running smoothly with making sure you can give clear title to the buyer and all those things, whether it's dealing with family, grief, who do you call to help clean out the house? Who do you call to help get the house secured? All of those things. Be sure to connect with a real estate agent who specializes in probate. It takes extra classes to go through to learn about the probate process. I mean, real estate agents don't come out all bright and bushy-tailed right out of real estate school and understand probate. That's just not how that works. You have to be diligent to go get extra training around it and actually going out and working with people who are going through it. They can really make sure that you're on the right path, keep you on the right path, and make sure you're going in the right direction on these things. Obviously, they're not an attorney, so like if you were working with me, I'd always tell you go back to your attorney when it comes to legal issues. But as far as being able to handle the emotions, being able to help get rid of all the items, being able to make sure you're signing appropriate paperwork at the appropriate time and getting through all those hoops. Somebody who understands probate that can guide you from a real estate perspective can really kind of take all of this off and make it just a tidbit easier to go through this process. Because I'm telling you, I've never had to go through probate personally. I don't believe it's for the faint of heart. So there's some really strong people out there who are administrators and executors, and hands off to you. If you like this kind of content, I've got more videos about probate process in Georgia. And if you need help in the greater Atlanta area, please reach out and I can help you find a really good real estate agent wherever you are. Whether you're in other parts of Georgia or other parts of the country, I've got a vast network of people who kind of work in probate, and I can make that connection for you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us below, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.